Welcome to The Explainer. So today we are unpacking what is honestly a massive evolutionary leap in AI. We're talking about the BioCAPT architecture. If you've ever felt like current AI is kind of just like a really fast, rigid autocomplete, well, get ready, because we are moving away from those step-by-step calculators and stepping into the realm of fluid, self-teaching cognition. It literally changes all the rules. Think about it. What actually happens when a standard AI realizes it's missing a skill? Usually it just hits a wall, spits out an error, or worse, confidently hallucinates a totally wrong answer. But imagine an AI that actually pauses, diagnoses its own blind spot, and literally builds its own ladder to climb over it. That's exactly what we're looking at today. Okay, let's dive right into this. Here's our roadmap for the breakdown. 1. The AI bottleneck. 2. The infinite learner. 3. Escaping catastrophic forgetting. 4. The liquid diffusion breakthrough. And 5. The future of cognition.
All right, part 1, the AI bottleneck and the limits of stepping stones.
You see, standard neural networks are fundamentally bottlenecked by, well, us. They literally just wait around for human engineers to update their weights and feed them new data. They process everything in these choppy, discrete steps. But BioCAPT, it takes a completely sovereign approach. It acts as a system that actually designs its own curriculum, and it does it all within a continuous, uninterrupted flow thought. It's a total game changer.
Moving on to part 2, the infinite learner and the autonomous curriculum. So BioCAPT achieves this through this just beautifully autonomous process. First, it detects a missing capability. Then, second, instead of failing or stalling out, it designs a custom learning path. And finally, it automatically generates the required new skills to fill that exact gap. It's not just a student reading an assigned textbook, right? This is an infinite learner that realizes, hey, the exact book I need hasn't actually been written yet, so it just goes ahead and writes it itself to fill in its own knowledge gaps. Crazy. Which brings us to part 3. Escaping catastrophic forgetting, or retaining the past while building the future. Of course, to actually function out there in the real world, an infinite learner has to overcome this massive classic industry hurdle known as catastrophic forgetting. In case you're not familiar, catastrophic forgetting is basically what happens when teaching a standard model new tricks completely breaks its old brain. It overwrites past knowledge. It's literally like saving a brand new file directly over an old one. So the crucial point is how BioCAPT solves this through its FrankenCAPT matrix, by dynamically merging 3 specific modules together. The Lifelong module, the Planner module, and the SkillForge module, the AI takes total, complete control over its own intellectual development. It continuously forges these new skills and adapts to new information, while keeping its old knowledge perfectly intact, so it bypasses catastrophic forgetting entirely to become a true infinite learner.
Let's move to part 4, the liquid diffusion breakthrough. A continuous stream of thought. So this takes us from how the system learns to how it actually thinks. By merging the liquid, diffusion 2, and reservoir modules, the system unlocks this incredible, cutting-edge emergent ability known as liquid diffusion. What this means is that BioCAPT operates as a continuous time generative model. It utilizes something called echo-state network dynamics to push way past the discrete, step-by-step generation we see in standard AI. Instead of a ticking clock just sitting there waiting for a prompt from us, think of it more like a flowing river of thought that is constantly adapting to real-time information.
And this brilliantly illustrates what the documentation calls continuous generative flow. We're no longer dealing with a machine that processes static batches of data, This is a continuous flowing stream of generative thought. It seamlessly reacts to its environment, and it never, ever has to stop and restart its cognitive engine.
Finally, part 5, the future of cognition, sovereign, self-teaching systems. We are absolutely witnessing a true cognitive paradigm shift here. We're moving from rigid software tools to fluid thinkers. Through this autonomous curriculum, these systems achieve complete intellectual sovereignty. They decide what they need to know, and then they teach it to themselves. When you pair that biologically inspired convergence with liquid diffusion, you get an AI capable of real-time, continuous adaptation. It's honestly mind-blowing. So, the big question, where does this biological digital convergence go next? When an AI can detect its own flaws, write its own curriculum, and continuously flow through reality without ever forgetting its past, what are the ultimate limits of an infinite learner? Definitely something to chew on. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep questioning, and I'll see you next time.